Hello, Andrew back once more with some more record finds. I haven't made any videos for a couple of weeks, so there's quite a few to show you. Done quite well actually recently, and the first one is by Gordon Lightfoot. This one's called Early Morning Rain. This one's actually a compilation on the Sunset record label of some tracks from his United Artists albums, most from 1967-1968. Not really too familiar with his early stuff, but it's a very enjoyable record, and this one is on the Sunset record label. Next I've got another Dave Edmunds record for my collection. This one's called Information. This one's a little bit later on. This one's 1983, and they tend to be a little bit less rock and roll, the later albums, which I actually prefer, and this one was a good find, and this one is on the Arista record label. Another Dave Edmunds one I hadn't got. This is called Tracks on Wax 4. This one is from 1978. This one is very good. I really enjoyed this one. It's probably one of his best. I think sort of the late 70s is his best period. And this one is on the Swan Song record label. Another Dave Edmunds in the group called Rockpile. And this consisted of Billy Bremner, Dave Edmunds, Nick Lowe and Terry Williams. That's a nice gatefold sleeve. So this is sort of completing my Dave Edmunds collection. It's called Seconds of Pleasure. I haven't actually played this one yet, but being as Nick Lowe is on it and Dave Edmunds, I like both of them, so I'm expecting good things from the. And this one's on the F Beat record label, and this is from probably late 70s, I would think. Let me just have a look. 1980, that one. Then I saw this one. This was in the 50p bin, and it's Robert Palmer, Pressure Drop, one of his I hadn't got. I don't think it's one of his best. It's quite an early one, and I have seen it a few times. It never really, thought I'd buy it or anything. But at 50p, I thought, I can't leave it there. And it's in good condition. I don't know why it was in the 50p bin. It's actually an import, and it's on the American Island label, a nice black label there. So yeah, I was pleased to get that one. Then every now and then I try and take a risk on some groups or artists that I've never heard of, and I went into a shop and they'd got a £2 bin, and I found quite a few of these records by groups I've never heard of. This one's by Tycoon, and this one comes from 1979. Really nice, this one, very, very good. A bit like Air Supply, I would say. A little bit more rocking, but yeah, if you ever see that one and you like sort of 80s, typical 80s rock, so like REO Speedwagon, that sort of thing, this is a very good buy. They're actually a British band. It was recorded at Wessex Studios in London, although they have a distinctive sort of American look about them, but they are actually British. And this one is actually on the Arista label as well. It's actually got the label missing on the back. There's no label on the back of that one, so a bit of a mispress, but that was worth £2 definitely. And then there was this one by Duke Jupiter. Again, I've never heard of these before, and this one is sort of a more American rock. This one's from 1980, and again, very good. Really like it. It's a bit like what can I say? I don't know what it's like really. A little bit like Creedence Clearwater-ish, that sort of thing. Sort of southern rock, Alabama maybe, something like that. But yeah, very good. Another good album for £2. And this one is on the American Mercury label. Again, this one by somebody called Jesse Colin Young. Again, no idea who that was. Thought I'd just take a risk on this one. And again, paid off okay. Nice, sort of gentle, bit ballady, good voice. And who was this like? It's hard to compare people really. Anyway, we'll just say nice sort of soft rock music from 1978. So yeah, well worth it. Good risk, and that's on the Elektra record label. Don't know anything about the artist at all. But again, if you like that sort of soft rock from the late 70s, that's very good. And this one by Marcus Joseph. Again, never heard of him at all. And this one's called Things I Meant to Say. Now this one is very much like England Dan and John Ford Coley. If you played it me without saying who it was, I would have thought it was England Dan and John Ford Coley. Really very, very pleasant. Very sort of sweet voice. Really enjoyed this one. This one's from 1978, so they're all roughly about the same period. Again, don't know anything about the artist. Not sure whether they made any more albums after this, but very, very nice. Really like this one. And this one's on the Big Tree label, which is actually the same label as England Dan and John Ford Coley. Now this is an artist I did know. This is by Dennis DeYoung. Now, Dennis DeYoung was the lead singer of Styx, so this is very much like Styx, and this is his solo album called Back to the World. And again, I didn't even know he'd made an album, but when I saw the name I thought, yeah, I know who that is. And again, it's very Styx-like, maybe not quite as rocking, maybe a little bit more gentle, but again a very good buy for £2. And this is on the A&M label, same as the Styx label. Then I've found this one by sorry, get them in the right order. That's not the one I wanted to show you. This is the one I wanted to show you. This one's by McKendry Spring. Wasn't too familiar with their output. This one's quite an early one. This is from the early 70s, I think. Let me just have a look. This is from 1972, and it's sort of a bit sort of southern rock. I was a bit disappointed with it. I thought it might be a little bit better, because I did do a little bit of investigating on this one and said it was a good album, but to my taste I wasn't too keen on it. And this one is on the MCA label, but it didn't put me off buying another one by them a few days later. This is another one by them called Too Young to Feel This Old. Now this one's a bit later on. This one's 1976, and I really do like this one. This one is much more what I expected it to be. I sort of think that if I ever see any more of those, I will actually buy them, because I really did like this album. And this one is on a different label. This one's on the Pie record label. Then one of my favourite groups from the 1980s. This is a very early album from Japan, and it's called Obscure Alternatives. Not very much like the Japan that everybody knows. This is quite punk-like. It's from 1978, and but I was familiar with their output at that time. I do have some of the singles from that time, so I knew it was going to be very punk-like. This one was actually in the 50p bin, The reason behind it is a bit scratched, it is a bit crackly in places, but this one is on the Areola label. But yeah, it just sort of fills a hole in my Japan collection, because you don't see this one very often. Now, a record I don't normally buy very often, it's one of these compilations from the 1970s. This one's called 16 Star Tracks of the 60s. And the reason why I bought this is because it actually has Space Oddity by David Bowie on it, which is a bit strange. But it's also got some really great tracks on it. It's Dusty Springfield, I Don't Know What to Do With Myself. It's got Manfred Mann, Mighty Quinn, by Wayne Fontana and the Mindbenders. It's got also sort of more soft things like Passing Strangers by Sarah Vaughan and Billy Eckstine, and Island of Dreams by the Springfields. But you know, it's pretty good, and I say David Bowie's on here with a very early edition of Space Oddity, and this one is on the Philips record label. And I've got quite a few to go through, so I think I'm going to split this over two videos. Then I got this double album. This is the Walker Brothers story. This one was from 1968. It's got a nice double sleeve there with some information about them. So it's got all the hits on there, like Make It Easy on Yourself, My Ship Is Coming In, People Get Ready, Sun Ain't Gonna Shine No More, all on there. So I don't have an awful lot by the Walker Brothers, so I thought this was a good chance to sort of get one or two things from them. And this too is on the Philips record label. Philips. And the last one on this one, I went into a charity shop the other day, and amongst all the normal rubbish that's there, there was this one, A Date with Elvis. Now, I've actually got this already, but this one is a later edition. This is pressed in 1980, but it's actually mono. The one I've got is in that artificial stereo, and so I thought, yeah, I'm going to get that. It was £1.99, but it's in really good condition, and it's on the RCA label, but it's a much later RCA pressing on the black RCA, and it's got things like Good Rockin' Tonight, Blue Moon of Kentucky's on there, Baby I Don't Care. So very early Elvis stuff. I think it's from around about 1960 or something like that. So it's some good rocking stuff from Elvis there, and it was in excellent condition, and it does sound much better in its original mono. Well, that's it for this video. So I'm going to split it over two because there's quite a few to go through. So I'll see you on the next video.